Where is the curvature? Where? No curvature.
La teoría de la Tierra plana estaba en mi mente cuando en un día inusualmente claro se podía ver la isla de Santa Catalina desde la orilla costera de Nuevo Puerto, California. Usando una mapa de Google tomé la medida de la distancia entre la isla y la costa. La isla medía 34 millas de la costa. Mi cámara estaba puesta a 2,5 pies de por encima de la tierra. Podía ver con mis ojos que la isla estaba cortada en 2 puertos con un istmo por en medio. Conforme con un sitio se supone que el globo terráqueo curva cada 8 pulgadas cuadrados por milla. Esto haría la distancia que estamos mirando desde la orilla costero, unos 700 pies. Me puse a pensar, ¿sería correcto la información de Google Earth? La estimación de elevación que vemos al lado izquierdo mide 1105 pies de altura. Con esta matemáticas, incluso con la medida de la curva de la Tierra, ¿no debemos ser capaces de ver esta parte de la isla? ¿Y cuánto del pico hacia el lado derecho, que Google Maps dice tiene una elevación de 1200 pies, deberíamos ser capaces de ver? ¿Casi toda la isla? Si miras la parte inferior, hay una joroba que se estima que tiene por Google Earth 800 pies de altura. Se puede ver mucho más abajo de la montaña, más que 800 pies. Casi podemos ver toda la isla hasta el nivel del mar. Si la curvatura se supone que es 700 pies, ¿por qué es posible que podemos ver una montaña de 800 pies y muy por encima del agua?
Greetings, people of cyberspace, mid-space possibly too. Welcome to this long-awaited follow-up to the Wellington Harbour curvature test. Rumour has it that on a clear day, with everything in the sky just right, you can see all the way to the South Island, and that's much further and much bigger than wee Kapiti Island. So I decided to take a drive around the Wellington coast with my camera and a couple of lenses to test this legend out. I'm going to show each place I drive to in Google Earth and take a few photos so you know it all checks out. So here we are zooming into Orfido Bay. First stop is that's the closest point in Wellington to the South Island that can be accessed with a regular vehicle. And those mountains, I think, are the South Island. Let's see if we can see them through the camera. Yeah, that looks to be a mountain over there. And through my telephoto lens, my God, it's the South Island. It's a pretty big mountain, that one. I wonder how far away it is. We'll check that out later. Now off to Island Bay, the west side of Island Bay. Very imaginatively named by the conquering Europeans, who the Māori called Pakeha, which translates roughly to white pigs. Very apt, but I will say this, the Māori did a whole lot better than most indigenous cultures. The dirty Pakeha didn't know what they got themselves in for when they came to New Zealand. And I think that's the same mountains over there. And yeah, I got my trusty compass just so you guys know I'm not lying, and look, I even got footage, a panorama of our lovely southern coast. And there's that mountain again, and my photo of the mountain. And off we go to the east side of Island Bay. The Māori called that island Tapu Te Ranga, and it's said to be patua, which is kind of like sacred. Okay, that looks to be those same mountains again, and it's my picture of them. A scenic spot, Island Bay, and it's the ferry going to the South Island. Okay, now across the harbour to Days Bay. just crossing over Soms Island here, our local leper colony. Every good city's got one. It's got to contain those lepers. Here we are, the Days Bay Wharf. And yep, that looks to be the same mountains behind the peninsula there. And this was completely on purpose, left the camera on just so you guys know that I am actually at the jetty. Completely on purpose. And my trusty compass pointing to that same mountain by the look of it. Let's go check out these mountains. Okay, zooming out and over the South Island. They're a bit further away than I thought. Yeah, that's quite a distance. That's 93 and 81 miles. I had no idea they were that far. Okay, I found this on the web. It's to help measure curvature, and it takes into account the height above sea level that you're measuring from. As you can see, 12 feet, that corresponds to the height on the jetty that I took these photos. Wow, so from the Days Bay Wharf, undercoat should be obscured up to 1604 meters, so that only leaves 1,000 meters that we should be seeing, but it seems we can see pretty much all the way down to sea level. That's a whole mile which should be obscured by the horizon. I don't think we're seeing that. Let's go back to those first shots we took at Orfido Bay, because one of those has got a perfect profile, missing the mountain to the right a little bit, but we should be able to figure out what's what. Check this out. I'll end the video with this. Make up your own mind.
Very large lake, Lake Ontario. And I happen to remember going to the beach as a kid and looking across the lake and seeing New York State coast off in the distance. I never ever thought anything about it ever, except I remember it being there when I went to the beach. Now I've been to that beach 100 times over the years. And once this topic gained more prominence in early 2015, the first video I saw explained the curvature of the Earth and what it's supposed to be in inches per mile. And it resonated with me because I remember that I could see clear across the lake to the other coast, something that broke all the sphere Earth rules. So with NASA fakery on my mind and the memory of seeing this coastline that supposedly was too far below the horizon for me to be able to see it due to the curvature of the Earth, I re-examined the flat Earth theory. And as unbelievable as it seems, it started to make a lot of sense, especially since I did distinctly remember being able to see that far coast basically anytime I was at my local beach. And as I've said, I've been there hundreds of times over the years. But even so, I went back to the beach recently and stood at the shore. I looked south and guess what? I could see the New York State coastline just like I remember. Now I googled the distance and it was approximately 36 miles. I learned what the curvature of the Earth is supposed to be exactly at that distance, and according to the people that believe in the sphere, I found out that the coast should have been buried below my ability to see it by almost 900 feet. That part of the New York State coast had a top elevation of less than 300 feet. So that left at least a huge 600-foot discrepancy, and even more because I could see some of the height of the far shore. Was something really wrong with the reality that they've been selling us ever since we were born? Well, I ended up becoming a little fixated on proving or disproving the concept. And at first I truly thought disproving the flat Earth would be rather easy. I thought there had to be a reasonable explanation why I could see so far beyond the so-called curve barrier. I learned about light refraction and superior mirages. I learned about perspective and horizons. I learned about how our eyes work. I I viewed dozens of similar experiences on YouTube. I listened to experts and people who thought they had logical but spherical explanations. In fact, I tried for a few months to debunk the concept, but just couldn't. The more I looked into it, the more sense it made, and the less likely that the sphere model we've been spoon-fed since birth was a reality. It's just flat out wrong. And as more people shared their experiences and proofs online, it only added to my growing, pretty much unwavering belief that the world is not what we've been told. And learning about how our eyes work and how perspective work helps a lot with understanding sunrises and sunsets and ships disappearing hull first at sea and other supposed sphere Earth proofs. I can't say for certain what shape the Earth is or how big it is, or if there's an Antarctic ring or a barrier beyond it, or if it's an infinite plane. Maybe everything we theorize is not complete. There are so many possibilities that it blows the mind, and the flat Earth has no real complete standard model because it's all based on us finding out things for ourselves. We agree on the facts and certain basics, but the rest is only hypothetical even if it seemingly makes sense. And as the evidence mounts for both the flat Earth and against the sphere, I wanted to create a special place where folks can learn and share what they've learned with other supporters. Differences of opinion are certainly going to come forth and should be expressed openly. But remember that the goal of my videos and their corresponding threads is to provide the opportunity to use each of us to learn and grow in any area that any of us has a problem in. If there is a thing you can't understand, then ask. Someone will have an opinion and we can go from there. If you have a point to make against what is considered an accepted flat Earth fact, please provide any relevant links or supporting proofs or videos. I am currently under the impression that the entire space program, even the low Earth orbit, and all that is there, is really just a sleight-of-hand trick by a group of illusionists that have swindled the public, the governments of the world, the media, and us into believing a lie. Everybody, a small group of corporations and cabals have almost complete control over the entire financial, educational, high-level governmental and media systems, leaving it up to real armchair scientists and normal people that can critically think and recreate experiments themselves to independently prove or disprove any accepted line of thought about our reality.